Hello, welcome. Come inside. Please, have a seat. Last year, I graced your screens with my personal favorite games. This year, I wanted to continue the tradition and do another top 10. But what kind? Well, the kind I can only do once every 10 years, of course. My top 10 games of the decade. But how does one highly unqualified person rank so many games? Well, I've decided to pick one game from a category and rank those as champions of their field. Don't understand? Don't worry. You'll probably get it in a sec. This is Gale's top 10 games of the decade. Number 10. Not all games are video games. Number 10 is the card game where decency may not apply, Cards Against Humanity. Most people have played this game or watched someone play this game. It's become a staple of college hangouts and inspired many other adult humor card games. Incredibly simple rules, but endless combinations make it an easy game to just break out for a few laughs. And really, when everyone laughs, everyone wins. Number 9. In the world of games that set trends that will echo into the new decade, probably the biggest fad that has changed the gaming landscape this decade is the Battle Royale genre. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds may not have been the first Battle Royale game, but it certainly propelled the format to stardom. I haven't personally played it, but even I remember that boom in the final months of 2017 where everyone and their mother was playing PUBG. A fresh genre for FPS fans that allowed for an individual's skills to shine in fast-paced combat, comboed with the ability to just hop into your next game if you died without having to see every match through to the end, created this golden player experience. You may argue that some do it better now, but in terms of trend setting, PUBG takes first place. Number 8. When I think of playing with friends, I think of nights spent in the living room racing my brother to become champion in Pokemon. And with the addition of co-op play in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, I finally was able to play with him in the way God intended. Him forced to follow helplessly as I make every decision, and he is forced to follow, only helping me catch Pokemon and never being able to truly be on his own and try to ravel the greatness that is my own Pokemon team. Nah, the real multiplayer winner of the decade is Jackbox party games. There are a lot of multiplayer games that create great single-player experiences that also translate into fantastic multiplayer experiences, but the Jackbox party games really embrace the true multiplayer spirit. You don't need gamer skills to play, or expensive consoles and controllers and online subscriptions. Simply start the room on someone's computer and anyone who has a phone can give it a try. Quick, varied games for all manner of skills and talents creates a perfect set of games for parties or large groups of friends, or even the occasional streamer. Number 7. I had to find some way to actually include Pokemon in this list, but since I want to stay positive, I'm not going to make a category for game with most toxic Twitter culture. Instead, I'm focusing on one of the most positive achievements for the Pokemon brand, and that is Pokemon Go. Mobile games have always left a sour taste in my mouth, mostly because I'm entirely against microtransactions in any form. But Pokemon Go shows that you can make a wildly successful game and not charge people heinous amounts of money. Also, it's pretty fun to just casually collect Pokemon while going on walks, or while you're walking around the grocery store, or going to your local park, or standing outside your crush's house in the rain just waiting for them to appear outside so you can wave and have that one magical moment. This game is simple but rewarding and was the cause of one of the most strange but happy summers of the decade. Number 6. Games have become integral in media this decade, and nothing proves this link more than YouTube gaming. Not only are some of the biggest names on YouTube built on gaming, but it continues to be a major factor in who becomes a big name and who stays under 100 subs. And a game that changed the YouTube landscape in ways no one could predict was SLENDER. This game kickstarted the indie horror craze along with games like Amnesia, The Witch's House, and SCP Containment Breach, but Slender was the game you watched for hours, then you tried to beat it yourself. You can even see the long reaches of this craze even now, as a very popular format is just for YouTubers to play some sort of scary game. Think Five Nights at Freddy's. But Slender spread across the whole platform in a fiery blaze that inspired other Slender games, Slender lore channels, and a crappy movie. A really crappy movie. Number 5. Dark Souls gets a spot under Souls-like category because of course it does. It's the Dark Souls of Dark Souls. It's a game that created an entire new genre built exclusively for the most hardcore of the gaming population. Dark themes, low story, high detail narratives, horrifying monstrous bosses, and brutal leveling and saving practices culminate in a genre fit only for those ready to take some pain. Dark Souls is still seen as a badge of honor and a true gamer's game, even after all these years. Number 4. This decade was the start of a new branch of gaming, esports, and no game really exemplified the rise of gaming competitions quite like League of Legends. It has lasted years, building upon itself over and over again, funding their own tournaments, evolving the meta, making new game modes, and adding new champions like every other week. The game regularly tops Twitch view counts and brings in hundreds of thousands of dollars each month, not to mention the dedicated player base that has only grown with each passing year. Professional gaming has been forever changed and made a little bit more respectable because of League. Number 3. Perhaps no genre of games has had as good a decade as tabletop RPGs, and arguably that's because of the release of D&D 5th edition. This decade has seen a huge shift in public opinion on the title, maybe because of the new edition's focus on simplifying rules and mechanics for new players, or maybe because of the internet's ability to find fellow enthusiasts and bring them together regardless of physical distance. Or maybe, just maybe, we all got over ourselves and started to admit that we all want to slay a dragon deep inside. Either way, what was once a hobby for only the most nerdy of players has now become an empire full of cosplay, writings, video games, live streams, and so many podcasts. Truly, this has been a successful decade that has sparked renewed interest in the genre. Number 2. I wouldn't really be a gamer if I didn't mention the rise of indie games this decade. So many unforgettable titles have been made, not by those who had banks full of money to devote to development, but by passionate people that just had a vision they had to share. And nothing shows the power of a simple concept, quite like Minecraft. Who knew that the key to gamers' hearts was block-shaped? True freedom to build whatever you like, the easy-to-grasp survival mechanics, the instantly recognizable design. Minecraft gave the ultimate sandbox experience to players, allowing for truly creative and inventive creations. It's the most watched game on YouTube. It has sold the most games. It continues to update and add new features, and it's on practically every console. It just refuses to stop being a powerhouse of gaming that no one can ignore. Number 1. If Minecraft was second, what is my top game for the decade? What could possibly be above the most sold and most watched game? Well, I might be a bit biased, but AAA titles haven't all been awful crash grab disappointments this decade, and one beloved AAA title really dominated both the video game market and gamers' hearts. I'm of course talking about Skyrim. Skyrim is a game that refuses to go away. It's on your PC, your Xbox 360, your fridge, your Switch, your microwave, your PS4, your PS3, your car, your Xbox One, your Alexa. It won't die, and that has everything to do with how loved it is. An open world game with impactful choices, a completely open RPG system that allows you to be any combination of skills you wish, and a mix of comedic and serious quest lines. Skyrim has a unique feel to it that is just plain addictive. Players come back again and again and again to make different choices, or play different races, or tell a new story, and the community loves this game so much that it's almost impossible to talk about the title without mentioning the thousands of mods, ranging from funny cosmetics to whole new quest lines complete with voice acting and choices, new areas. To me, Skyrim feels like a game that everyone is just constantly aware of, has at least played once, and agrees is at least a great fun game, even if it isn't your particular genre. It started the decade with a bang, and it refuses to be forgotten. And that is why Skyrim is my game of the decade. And that is my top 10 games of the decade. Do you agree? Do you disagree? You probably do, because we're both individuals and we have our own opinions. But that's okay. Let me know in the comment section down below what your top 10 list is. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye! Hi there, it's the end of the video, my friend. Hit the bell if it was okay, I'm sure I'll make good content someday. I'll play some games or do some drawing, Pokemon and fights with darling, video essays and reviews. I couldn't do it without you, so thanks, like and subscribe.